Simone de Beauvoir, born in 1908 in Paris, was an influential French philosopher, writer, and feminist. She studied at the prestigious Sorbonne and met Jean-Paul Sartre, forming a lifelong intellectual and personal partnership. Though they never married, their bond was central to both of their lives and careers. De Beauvoir's most renowned work, The Second Sex, published in 1949, challenged the traditional roles of women in society and became a cornerstone of feminist theory. Alongside her philosophical writings, she wrote novels, essays, and memoirs, deeply exploring themes of existentialism and freedom. She also worked as a teacher and editor, and her advocacy for women's rights extended to both her writing and activism. Despite facing criticism and controversy, her legacy remains pivotal in philosophy and feminism. She died in 1986, leaving behind a body of work that continues to inspire.
Ever feel like, society's always trying to like squeeze you into some, pre-made mold? Like there's only one way to be, and like if you don't fit, you're somehow like messing it all up.
Yeah.
Well, today we are going to be like going deep on someone who took a sledgehammer to those expectations.
Yeah.
Simone de Beauvoir.
Of course.
Not just about gender roles, but like all the ways society tries to define us.
Yeah. What's so fascinating about Simone de Beauvoir is that she didn't just critique those societal pressures. She actually like offered a really powerful alternative existentialism.
Okay. So existentialism, for those of us who didn't major in philosophy.
Right.
What's the elevator pitch?
Imagine you're handed a blank canvas.
Okay.
Instead of a paint-by-numbers kit.
Okay.
That's existentialism.
Gotcha.
The idea that we're born without a fixed essence or purpose, we create our own meaning through the choices that we make.
So no predetermined fate.
Right.
We're responsible for our own masterpiece. I mean, that's a lot of pressure. But also kind of liberating, right?
Exactly. And that's exactly what Simone de Beauvoir argued, especially for women.
Okay.
She famously said, and this is a quote, "One is not born, but rather becomes a woman."
Wow.
It's a statement that really throws a wrench into traditional views of womanhood.
So it's not about biology. It's about what society tells us women should be.
That's right.
I mean, that quote alone has sparked countless debates.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It really gets to the heart of what we're talking about today. How much of who we are is truly U.S. versus what we're told to be?
Yeah, that's precisely what de Beauvoir wanted us to examine. To understand her argument, though, we need to dive into her most impactful work.
Okay.
The Second Sex, published in 1949.
This book was huge EE, right? It shook the intellectual world. I remember first reading it in college and feeling like my mind was blown wide open.
It really did cause a stir.
Yeah.
De Beauvoir meticulously documented how women throughout history were treated as the other in a male-dominated world, confined to specific roles and expectations, denied opportunities, essentially seen as secondary to men.
So she's saying it's not that women are naturally submissive or any of those stereotypes,
right?
But that those traits are imposed by a system that benefits from keeping them in a subordinate position.
Precisely, she argued that this otherness isn't inherent to women. It's constructed by a patriarchal system.
Which is where existentialism comes in, right? Yeah. If we're not born with these traits, if we become, then we can choose to become something else entirely.
That's the radical core of her argument. The Second Sex wasn't just a critique. It was a call to action for women to seize their freedom to define themselves on their own terms.
No more paint by numbers for womanhood.
Right.
We're picking our own colors.
Exactly. One of the most powerful aspects of The Second Sex is that de Beauvoir didn't just theorize. She dove into the lived experiences of women.
Okay.
Exploring the psychological, social, and even biological factors that contributed to their oppression.
So it's not some abstract philosophy floating out there.
Right.
It's grounded in the realities of women's lives past and present.
Yes.
No wonder it's still considered such a foundational text in feminist thought.
And its relevance only seems to grow.
Wow.
Think about modern discussions around gender equality.
Right.
About women breaking barriers in fields traditionally dominated by men.
Yeah.
These conversations are all echoes of the ideas de Beauvoir put forth in The Second Sex.
But it's not just about breaking into male spaces, right? It's about women having the freedom to choose whatever path they want, whether it aligns with traditional roles or not.
That's the heart of it. And to do that, Simone de Beauvoir argued women needed to understand the concept of bad faith.
Ooh, okay. Now we're getting to the good stuff.
Yeah.
What is bad faith in the context of existentialism? It sounds kind of ominous.
It is a weighty concept.
Yeah.
Essentially, bad faith is when we deny our freedom and responsibility. We pretend we're just playing the roles we're given, that we have no choice.
So kind of like saying, well, society expects me to be a stay-at-home mom, so I guess that's just who I am, even if it makes you, like, deeply unhappy.
That's a perfect example. Simone de Beauvoir argued that women especially were pressured to live in bad faith, accepting the limitations placed on them as if they were natural or inevitable.
Which goes back to her whole argument in The Second Sex.
Right.
We're not born into these roles, we're pushed into them.
Precisely. And to truly break free,
Okay.
women, and really anyone who feels trapped by societal expectations, need to reject bad faith.
Okay.
Own your choices, own your freedom, even if it's uncomfortable.
That's a powerful concept, but it also raises so many questions.
Yeah.
Like, what happens when our choices clash with the expectations of those around us? How do we balance this individual freedom with our responsibilities to others?
Those are exactly the kind of questions Simone de Beauvoir wanted us to wrestle with.
Right.
She didn't offer easy answers,
Yeah.
but she provided a framework for thinking critically about our lives, our choices, and the world around us.
Yeah. And this idea of bad faith, while deeply philosophical,
Yeah.
has really practical implications, doesn't it? I mean, if we're constantly living in bad faith, we're essentially giving away our power to shape our own destinies.
Absolutely. And for Simone de Beauvoir, that was the ultimate trap. To live authentically, we must reject the comfort of bad faith and embrace the responsibility that comes with true freedom.
Okay, so we've established that Simone de Beauvoir was a total rock star who challenged everything.
Oh, yeah.
She was a writer, a philosopher, a feminist, and she even had this unconventional partnership with another famous philosopher, Jean-Paul Sartre.
Their relationship was indeed remarkable.
Yeah.
They chose to prioritize their intellectual and personal freedom,
Right.
even opting for an open relationship, which was pretty scandalous at the time.
I bet. But it also shows how committed they were to living life on their own terms, to rejecting societal norms that didn't align with their values.
Exactly. Their partnership was a testament to their belief in individual autonomy and the pursuit of intellectual fulfillment.
So not your typical love story, but definitely a fascinating one.
Yeah.
And it speaks to the core of what we're discussing.
Right.
Breaking free from predefined boxes and choosing our own paths. And I think that's a perfect note to end on.
Yeah.
Simone de Beauvoir's life and work remind us that the journey towards freedom and authenticity is ongoing. It's a challenge, an adventure, and ultimately a testament to the power of the human spirit to strive for something better.
It's been a true pleasure diving into the world of Simone de Beauvoir with you.
And to our listeners, we hope you've enjoyed this exploration as well.
Yeah.
If Simone de Beauvoir's ideas have sparked your curiosity, we encourage you to delve deeper into her work.